Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the daily stock market update video. And today we have our most notable red day in a very long time. You can see QQQ is down close to 2.2%, as well as a lot of big tech stocks are shaping up some red flags here. And on Tuesday, I said it's probably a good time to start hedging. And essentially, after hours on Wednesday, we started seeing some signs where I was talking about Apple potentially having a blow up top after that AI news coming in, and it eventually the news came in and sold off pretty much most of that pop into the end of the day. And today we still double bottom today, so it's not that huge of a red flag for Apple at least. So we're talking about QQQ, Sp500, Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Meta. And let's get into it. Before we get into it, let's take a look at the sentiment data that we got in today. When I saw this in the morning at 51.4%, I was like, yeah, this week would probably be a very good week to get a rug pulled. And I think that is why we had a pretty notable red day, because I was talking about this for all this week that it's we are quite due for a pullback. Obviously, I did not expect we're going to be pulling 2.3% today in one day, but I was saying a daily consolidation is very likely going to be on its way, especially after we hit that 388 and 387 resistance on QQQ. And even after today's sold off, we're still in extreme greed. So there's probably more downsides to go, depending on how we bounce on our next bounce. So I'll be taking a look at that for you guys to see once we bounce. Are we going to bounce more than our 38.2 retracement, or is this going to be a bigger bounce? We'll see, right? So the next bounce will determine if we're going to get more downside. And if the bears can confirm a daily downtrend, we'll likely start shaping up even more downside. All right, so let's get into the charts. So on Tuesday, the signs that I was seeing was, zoom into the hourly chart. So Tuesday, I was talking about that we should start about hedging, and you can check that video out as well. And on Wednesday, we pretty much double top. I wouldn't call this a break above the Tuesday's level. You can see we just could not get over this 4 times. And then once we get over that at this candle, Apple announced its AI news, and it had a slight pop, and it sold off from the Apple news. And after that, you can see all the big tech stocks started to follow it a little bit, and there was still no red flags even at close. So at close, it was this candle, and then the day when it closed. And the other red flag I was seeing was VIX. VIX was holding pretty darn well, and when all sectors was trading on its high of its day. When all sectors is high of its day, VIX should be pretty darn red, and so that was a notable sign that people are starting to hedge and combining with a couple of other factors such as AI news being marking tops, and there's just not much follow through like we had on Monday when we had the Microsoft AI news. And essentially, people are numb to the news now, and especially with the Apple announcing it's pretty much the last big tech stock that anybody cares about to announce in their AI news, right? So that was notable. And after hours, we had Netflix and Tesla reporting earnings. That was kind of a red flag when we dropped that hard, and we had that big gap down and confirming an hourly downtrend for the very first time for a while. And you remember when I keep talking about hourly downtrend is the very first step that bears need to show us for any kinds of weakness, right? So we got that in after hours. And then this morning, much more follow through, right? That's why I say trend changes are so important. If it's just a one big move and we just V-shape, that is not a trend change, right? If it's a one big move like this, bounce, we now have a pivot, and then break below the prior lows. That is a trend change, and meaning bears are potentially likely more serious here. And then we got more follow through from the bears today, a lot more follow through actually, quite a bit. Last time we had an hourly downtrend was a notable one. We had a few. I'm gonna say that one is not during market hours. Not a lot of notable ones, but yeah, just say we haven't seen bears anywhere for a while. But today they showed up. So when we in the morning, right when we traded here, it's very clear once we break this 382, we're gonna go lower because why? 382 was prior strong resistance, and we're above it. It acted as support. We bounced it off of it in pre-market, retested again when market opened, broke that. Bears follow through, straight to the next resistance, prior resistance, now acting as support again. So we try to bounce off of it again here, try to hold it around this area. See, we bounce it in the morning again, retest it, and then we can hold it. And then we flush to the next support level at 375 because there's just not a lot of volume trade in this area. That's why it was so easy when you guys saw this level break. This took a little bit while because of this zone was a little bit sideways. But once this one breaks, this flush was an hour and a half. It's very easy. Waterfall drop in an hour and a half for that drop because there was not a lot of volumes or supports in this zone. See how it was just a straight shot up, meaning it's easy to cut through it as well. There's not a lot of volumes in that zone. You can argue that we have volumes all the way back 2021 or 2020. I think it was 2021 when we're all-time highs. But you can see these volumes are already technically used up, or it's just too long ago, right? So you want to look at the most recent price action. But of course, those volumes still matter as well. But that's why we cut through it. And now the question is, how is that 4-hour bounce going to be, right? Go to the 4-hour time frame. So this is one straight move down. Can the bears confirm a 4-hour downtrend now? This is one straight move. Now if we bounce and then form that drop like that back down here, that is a win for the bears on the 4-hour time frame to form a 4-hour downtrend. So if we get a 4-hour downtrend, we're very likely getting a daily downtrend as well. So this is one move as well. It's not a daily downtrend yet. We're still in a daily uptrend. Funny thing, even after today, we're still in a daily uptrend because we are still above these prior pivots. So this is the prior pivot, this one right here. And so uptrend continues. It's just a pullback. So far, we're still on the 12 EMA. You can see that we're just touched it today. So you can say today was a big red day. I agree with that. The bear volume coming in, you can see high volume, one of the highest volumes since this day. And you could have said the exact same thing on this day, right? That bears are going to start shaping up some momentum here, right? And we did. We got 4% drop, right? Let's not kid ourselves, but the bears never confirmed a daily downtrend after that 4% drop. We are even higher up, and we have so far a 3% drop. And so obviously short terms, the bear won in like the shorter time frame, like in hourly, and they are in short term control, just like they were in short term control back here, right? But now I want to see some longer term controls here. So I want to see them shape up a 4-hour downtrend as well as a daily downtrend. So let's see if they can do that. And so from this A to B move, right? Measure the Fibonacci's, and let's see. If we do bounce back up here, below here, 0.382, 38.2% mark, and then reject, that's a potential bear flag shaping up on the 4 hours. So we'll see if this can play defense around this level. They'll play defense right here at this level. They should be playing defense at this level, in my opinion. That'll be even a stronger bear flag. We just come up here, reject, boom, break below that. Today's low. It's a confirmed 4-hour bear flag. But as of now, no signs of that yet because we don't even know where it's going to bounce at the moment because it hasn't started this, although it kind of did start its bounce here. But it didn't. We ran out of time, end of the day, pretty much. Because if we do break this 375, we're very, very likely going to 371. There's just not a lot of support in between 375 to 371. Yeah. So my guess is we bounce, and then it'll be the weekend, and then probably next week. Then we'll see if we can break that, come down to here, retest that, and come down to 371. And if we come down to 371, guess what? We're still in a daily uptrend because of we're still above this pivot. That's why there's so much room for the bulls to work with. Let's see how many from the top. 6.2% before we test this pivot. But if we do get a big enough drop and then bounce, right? And then confirm the daily downtrend, we don't have to break this pivot to confirm a daily downtrend. As long as bears can shape up that downtrend when we have a bounce, it doesn't matter. But if we have a straight move down, break that, then we'll just go from uptrend to a neutral trend. But I don't think that's going to be the case. We're just going to go straight and break that pivot. Most likely scenario is that we have a slight bounce, and then we'll see if the bears can actually be serious taking over in a longer time frame as well. That's what I will be looking for on that 4-hour time frame. As of now, bears are still in full control on the hourly time frame. And we'll see. We have more earnings coming up next week, some of the big techs as well. So we'll see if it becomes a sell the news, sell the earnings kind of season. Also, going from August to September and October, it's a weaker season for the stocks. Usually we have a slight dip overall in the market before we rally into end of the year. So we got to keep that in mind as well. And yeah, I've already gone 10 minutes on QQQ itself. Let's get ahead with the rest of the stocks. And if you guys want to skip ahead, just click on the timestamp to whatever big tech stock that you guys want to look at. I put those in the comments always below. SPY is a lot stronger today because of the other sectors, healthcare sector holding it up while tech dragging it down. And it's pretty clear as well. It's holding a lot better because we are holding above this prior structure. So QQQ already broke below this one, but SPY held it. So where would we head next? Same thing, hourly structure. I formed an hourly downtrend here, and then with more follow through at the end of the day after that hourly downtrend confirmed. Now, no signs of 4-hour downtrend yet. This is one single move as well. Let's take a look how 1%. Yeah, I wouldn't say this move is big enough, but with SPY, 1% is big enough to form a 4-hour downtrend. If we do bounce, and then we have a small pink candle here, and then bounce another one, that would take us into end of the day tomorrow already, since it's 4-hour candles. So we probably likely need to go into Monday. We might even have a 4-hour head and shoulders shaping up, right? Who knows? That would be a daily 4-hour uptrend into a 4-hour downtrend if that ended up shaping up. So we'll see if guys are serious. If we do break this pivot right there, 4-hour will be back into a neutral trend. In the daily time frame, let's see where the last pivot was. This is one initial move, so no pivots here. Last pivot is also very far right here for the daily uptrend. So this is one move, and bears need to step up their game on SPY for sure to even break this pivot because SPY has so many sectors. But if the tech continues to be weak, maybe it'll keep dragging it down. So we'll see. Quite a bit of rooms away and still a lot of supports along the way. This is like zero red flag for SPY at the moment. This is just could be the same thing as this. It's part where we had that drop, right? Even if we drop all the way back down here, guess what? We're still above this pivot. So we're still in a daily uptrend. And even pulling back like this to here is very normal in a strong bull market. We had these all the time back in 2020. So no signs of huge red flags yet until I see some bear shaping up some 4-hour downtrends or daily downtrends. So now, no signs of it yet, but tech is of course a lot weaker. So we'll see if tech stock shape QQ shapes this downtrend up first, then SPY will very likely start to follow. So we'll see if QQQ will lead to the downside as well because QQQ was leading to the upside. So now we'll have to see. All right, Nvidia. is quite a notable drop. That was a this was a bear break lacking follow through, double topped at all time highs. No more buyers want to buy, and then just have weakness for the last 2 days. So we'll see. Early downtrend confirmed as well for Nvidia. 4-hour still. You could say it's a 4-hour downtrend from this little candle above this one, and you can say that's pivot, and we have 4-hour downtrend. I personally wouldn't call it a 4-hour downtrend. I would call this just a one initial move, due to this candle being in pre-market, as well as just both of these in pre-market don't really count as on the same candle. So I count this as one move, and I want to see a clear lower high and breaking today's low, especially breaking this double bottom low. We'll be breaking that 450 support, psychological support as well at the same time. That would be notable, and that could potentially mark the temporary top for Nvidia until it releases its earnings, because it's quite overvalued fundamentally wise. But let's not get too detailed into fundamental wise, because price action is always king, because it's essentially all the information together, regardless of what news, every emotion of everybody combined together, pressing that sell or buy button that creates the price action. So it's always the most leading indicator. So yeah, 450 would be the level. Also, Nvidia's pivot is also quite far away. Pivot is over here, so it has a lot of room to work with as well. 8% more before we even break the prior pivot. So still in a daily uptrend, daily, weekly, monthly uptrend, but hourly it's in a downtrend for bears. So that's what I'm saying. Bears have a short-term win here, just like on the hourly, right? Let's see if they can get serious on the 4-hour and the daily as well. But this 450 is going to be key, and it does look like there's not a lot of buyers up here anymore at this level. I mean, it'd be understandable, but we'll see. If we start shaping up daily downtrends here, then we'll know this is definitely the temporary top. So we gotta be careful when I talk about don't buy when we have literally a 7-day run of 6.2%, right? It's the last thing we want to do. All right. It's very clear support and resistance. Nvidia all-time highs is the resistance. 450 is the support, and it coincides with the 12 EMA as well for 450. All right, let's take a look at Tesla. All right, with Tesla, now after its earnings report yesterday, we are seeing some red flags on the daily chart because now it's broken its prior pivot. So this is what it would look like if we do break the prior pivot. Now, Tesla is not in a daily uptrend anymore because this was the daily uptrend. This was the pivot. Now we have broken below that. So now Tesla is in a neutral trend, not a downtrend yet because it hasn't formed a lower high for its pivot. Right now, this is one move and we have broken the prior pivots. So now it's in a neutral trend. And on the next bounce, burden is on the bears to show us that they can form a daily downtrend. And we pretty much closed right on the support of this 262 level, and which is this prior resistance zone. Now it's acting as support and gap fill at the same time. So remember I was talking about it here, where we couldn't even fill the gap means weak selling, and hence the bulls were able to buy that up because there was just no notable selling there. But after yesterday's earnings, it all changed. Obviously, we're down 9.74% today with a lot of volumes. So we're a little bit oversold on the smaller time frames. Like on the hourly, you can see we're oversold, but oversold can stay oversold, especially after we're so, especially if there's a catalyst like earnings, right? And as of now, zero signs of it bouncing at the moment, but we should get a little bit of a bounce if it wants to go lower. If we could just shoot straight down, come back here, bounce, retest, go lower, it can definitely happen. Yeah, if bulls can't hold 263, this level right here where we closed, we're very likely coming down to 252. That's this structure. There's a lot more support here at this structure between here and here compared to this place where we just slice through it because there's just not a lot of volume right in this area. And so very likely if we break this level tomorrow, we're going to come down to 252. And that would be like the last strong support zone for the bulls, because you can see if we do break 252, there is not a lot of support on the way up. This is a straight move up. So 252 breaks, last level would be this, in this zone right there, that 240 zone. Breaks, we're probably going to fill this gap, and then who knows after that, because that's still quite a bit away. I need another 10% drop. Yeah. If we're going to go that far, we probably need to come from a daily downtrend from the bears for us to go that far. Now, no signs of that yet. Although this move is now big enough where it's going to favor the bears on the next bounce. So it's a lead bear today, and short-term bear control. On the hourly, bears are in full control, and 4-hour is also a full bear control. This is one initial move though. So want to see something like this, that's a 4-hour downtrend. Now we'll have to see if it happens. Bounce. If we do reject from here, then that could potentially shape up the 4-hour bear flag. All right, so we'll see if the other big tech stocks will end up helping. Guess if QQQ goes green, then it may drag Tesla up, or it may not because of its news of catalyst on the earnings report. Right, Apple, slight little red flag, and especially this mini blow off top at the moment. Not really a blow off top because of how it can't even break yesterday's low yet. And although we did, but like it's broke, came back right to it. So it doesn't. I wouldn't say it's a convincing break. As long as Apple holds above this 192 level, it's still holding its all-time high structure. This was the AI news, popped, and then kind of just sold off. So we are a little bit numb to the news, and as long as Apple holds above this 192, all good to go. No signs of red flag, yes, yet. We see I wouldn't say that would be too much of a deal there, but it could be like a mini resistance for scalpers, traders. But yeah, not that useful. But all right, if you do hold 192, we're probably going to bounce, retest this all-time high structure again, this 196 level. It might just go sideways for a little bit until its earnings. So that could also be the case, or until the first mega cap tech stock report its earnings. We'll see. Come out to the daily 2-day EMA12 still holding. So this is like the chart that has zero red flags, like on every time frame at the moment. Other than that, it's a little upper wick. That's about it, right? Every daily, monthly, weekly uptrend is all in favor of the bulls at the moment still. And we still have not broken this 2-day EMA12. I've been talking about this 2-day EMA12 for months. As long as bulls hold above this 2-day EMA12, where it bounced off of it like 20 times, is still in full bull control. And of course, obviously, when all the trends are in the uptrend, it's still in full bull control. So we'll see if it continues. And if the other mega cap tech stocks start to drag it down, then you might see it start to be a little bit weaker, like Amazon. Right, today it was down 4%, and it was dragging QQQ down. QQQ was dragging Apple down today, even though Apple was only down 1%. If QQQ was flat today, Apple would have been up 1%. Due to the difference. So we'll see how its peers end up performing. So Amazon was the lead bear today, other than Tesla. Amazon didn't even have any earnings. It just dropped 4% like a rock. So talking about how this is going to act as resistance and like a new chop zone. And he pretty much up to that resistance zone again yesterday. It was looking good. Amazon was the lead bull yesterday, and there's no signs of red flags from it yesterday. We closed pretty much at the high of this day, and today we just sold it off. Now we've broken through. Initial red flag was when we broken through this 131 zone. So that was the previous chop zone's resistance, and we broke above it. That should have acted as a strong support. So when that broke, you can see bear volumes coming in. Let's take a look here. So 331 was roughly right here. You can see they try to hold it up. Bulls try to hold it up over here for at least like 2 hours, and they couldn't. And then you can see once you broke through it, you can see bear volume coming in right here, just straight through all this level as well. Try to hold it here as well. 131 zone, broke through it, and then you can see all the bear volume came in again. So yeah, that was the support that they were supposed to hold. And if they couldn't hold it, it was all the stop loss got triggered, and some bear volume coming in as well. Now we're back to this structure, and lucky scenario is probably test the low of that structure, which obviously we gotta break to 129 first, but see if we can shape that up. As of now, same thing for most of the mega cap, because this is only the first major red day. We don't have a longer time frame trend change yet. So I want to see some 4-hour or daily downtrend changes for S2. Any huge red flags. But as of now, Amazon is also in a neutral trend because we broke below this prior pivot. This was a daily uptrend right here. That was the pivot, bounced, didn't make a new high, and we broke it below the prior pivot. So Amazon is in a neutral trend now. So we have 5 mega cap still in a daily uptrend, and 2 now in a neutral trend. So we may start getting some more bearish actions if we start seeing some of the mega cap turning into daily downtrends, and the other ones may follow. So we'll see who's going to follow who. Right, let's take a look at Google. Looks like a V-shape, upside down V-shape recovery, but more like a V-shaped drop. So this bounce was a huge bounce, where the next drop was supposed to favor the bulls for a continuation of the upside to change the trend back to a uptrend. But Google is still in a neutral trend, just chopping around, because it was a daily downtrend here, broke above the pivot, changed downtrend into a neutral trend. We're just whipping around, so we're still in a neutral trend because it did not change the trend back to uptrend. Essentially still in a neutral trend on the daily, but on the hourly, it looks like a mess. It's an hourly downtrend, and on the 4-hour, it's also a 4-hour downtrend. Google has a clear 4-hour downtrend compared to other mega cap that doesn't yet, because Google has been dropping for the last couple of days versus a lot of the mega cap has only been dropping today. So Google is a lot weaker. It's on a 4-hour downtrend already, and yeah, like I said, we'll see who joins who very soon, and let's see if Google can confirm a daily downtrend. I don't want to call this a daily downtrend, like a pivot here. It's just, yeah, this is a clear one move. And we bounce off of this 119. It's pretty clear. You can see all this support right here. It's a triple bottom. Now it's a quadruple bottom. If you break that, very obviously we're coming down to 116. If you do break 116, Google chart is gonna be, we're probably gonna fill the gap if you break that level. That is now. We don't have that yet. And my guess is we'll probably get a relief bounce here or here. And then form, if we want to get more selling, then we'll form the downtrend after that relief bounce for either tomorrow. Tomorrow, we probably, let's say we bounce tomorrow, right? We'll have to see what happens next week. We only have 1 day left this week, so. And Microsoft, let's see how much time. Okay, 12 minutes. Microsoft is looking more like a blow off top than Apple, because this day was when it announced its AI news, 1 day before Apple. And you can see we sold off all of it, pretty much. So that is what a blow off top usually looks like. So now we have sold off. We're up 5.8% from that news. Now we're back down 5.8% from that news. And we were supposed to bounce off of this double top level, the all-time high prior to that. Prior to this bounce, this was the all-time high double top resistance, right? So we're back above it and drop below it. We're come to it. We're supposed to bounce there, at least a slight bounce, see if we can test the trend changes. Oh, we just cut straight through it, back below this all-time high structure. So that is a little bit of a red flag, but for me, we obviously have an hourly downtrend. Every mega cap tech stock has an hourly downtrend now. And we so far held this 345 zone, but I wouldn't say we held it, because we only had 30 minutes left in the end of the day for that little mini bounce and the end of the day, and market closed, right? So let's say we had another hour, we could have broken below that. So we'll see how tomorrow will trade, if we actually held that level or not. If not, I zoom out to the 4-hour, and let's see if we have a 4-hour downtrend. Yep, I would say we have a 4-hour downtrend because of this move. This is the pivot, and this is a 4-hour downtrend confirmed as well. We have Google, Microsoft confirming 4-hour downtrends. No daily downtrends yet for any mega cap tech stocks. We need a couple more days for that to shape up, and we'll see if bears are serious this time. It does feel a little bit more selling, although SPY held pretty well. There was no all major sectors today at the low of its date, so I wouldn't say it's a fear selling day yet, like all major sectors, money leaving the market kind of fear at the moment yet. So we still got to be a little bit cautious about going completely bearish. But yeah, we got to be cautious though, because we have hourly downtrends on all mega cap now. All right, so take a look at Meta. Meta, very similar. Still holding its daily uptrend. So Meta is one of the strongest daily uptrend. The pivot is all the way down here. Wait, no, the pivot is right here. We broke in the pivot. Now it's actually in a neutral trend. See that pivot? This last pivot, and this was the new pivot. In a new high, and now we're broken them down through that pivot. And we actually closed below the 12 EMA. So that's the first time it's actually done that. You can see this teal looking line. It's the first time it's done that for, as any of us can remember, at end of April. It's been like 3 months. So that's a little bit notable for me. Meta in a neutral trend, closing in a EMA 12, also in an hourly downtrend as well. You see that 4-hour, same chart as Microsoft, 4-hour downtrend as well, breaking also this pivot. The next level support definitely is 300. Very clear 300 support. 300, we're gonna come down to this 298, this triple top here for sure first. 300 and 298 is gonna be the support zone, and then break that. We're coming down to 289 zone as well. Yeah, we'll probably come here, bounce, and then to shape out that daily downtrend, bears gonna need a lot of work. Right, that is all I got for you guys. So right now, a lot of bearish hourly downtrends But the longer term charts on the daily has not confirmed yet because we need a couple of days of actual red days for that to even confirm. So right now we'll see if the bears are serious or not in the upcoming couple trading days, that if they're going to give us any daily downtrends confirming or not in the coming weeks. So if they do, then we'll start scouting more shorts. I took a short yesterday on SOXX, which is the semiconductor short. XOXX is semiconductor, right? And I took the 3x leverage of it on the downside yesterday. And so that would be XOXS. You can see I'm up close to 11% today. I took profit at the end of the day on its close because we may get a 4-hour oversold bounce on the 4-hour on the semiconductor sector. So I took a profit on that, and I'll probably re-add it if we get a weak bounce on QQQ and in the market itself. So we get a weak bounce, and then we started selling off again. Then I'll re-add my short. So to be anticipating we can potentially get that daily downtrend. But as long as if they hold support, then I'll get out again or stop out with a small loss, depending on how the trading goes. But so now we'll see if bears are going to be serious or not in the next couple coming days and next week. All right, that's all for you guys. Take care. Have a great rest of you guys' day. If you guys made it this far, feel free to subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another market update.